This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me right now is Dr. Jack Regan. He is the CEO and founder of LexaGene. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: LXG on the TSX Venture and LXXGF on the OTCQB. And you can actually see Dr. Regan give a presentation on LexaGene at our upcoming investor event, the SNN.Network Summer Virtual Event, happening August 17th through 19th. To register and see his presentation, please go to conference.snn.network. Dr. Regan, great to have you on. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the show.
It's great to have you. So last time we had a representative on the program from LexaGene was back in July 2020. So, listen, I know the company's had a lot of updates since then, both on commercialization, technology development front. So, maybe we'll take it quarter by quarter. So, love to get an update. Let's start with summer 2020. What happened then, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so perfect. So, summer 2020, at that time, I think it was July, we announced our flagship system called the MiQLab. And I want to remind your viewers that at this point, LexaGene had been strictly an R&D company. We were founded in late 2016, and we had to develop our technology really from just 2 licensed patents, demonstrate it works, put it in the hands of customers for beta units, and finally start manufacturing our commercial system. And so in July of 2020, we finally announced and showed the world, if you will, our MiQLab. This is our systems designed for ease of use, point of care PCR testing. And so starting July 2020, we really started cranking up, if you will, manufacturing of that system. And so that's a big, big step for a company. If you go from an R&D company into one that's starting to support the marketing and the sales for a commercial system, that was really the main focus the last time you spoke to the company.
Very good. Okay, so now we're getting into the fall 2020. As you said, things, you're starting to transition from that R&D to on the commercialization stage. So what happened then in that fall quarter?
So at the time, we had spent a lot of effort getting our marketing ready, and that includes generating the marketing collateral that our sales staff needs. Also, it requires us to develop data sets our sales staff needs as well. So as we progress into late fall and early winter, we did close our first sale, which was extremely exciting for the company. This really sort of came as a surprise in regards to the market vertical it came out of. We spent a lot of time marketing towards veterinary diagnostics at the time. This is sort of our primary market. But we got contacted by a multinational contract drug manufacturer, and they were interested in a better way to identify whether or not contaminants were in their final product, as well as making sure that they weren't introducing a contamination during the production of their product. And so they came into LexaGene, they looked at our technology, they brought some samples, they tested them, we got successfully the right answers, and they turned around and bought a system. We're like, wow, this is fantastic. We haven't even done any marketing towards this industry. This is potentially a great market for us. Nonetheless, we had spent the majority of our time working on the veterinary diagnostic space. And so at basically the same month, we closed a sale to Ethos Discovery, which is a leading veterinary organization really interested in top line, care and treatments of your companion animals. And so those were 2 sales we closed at the end of last year, which are very exciting for the company because it's, again, finally having your hard work come to fruition where finally people are putting dollars on the table to buy your technology.
Very good. All right, so we're making our way to current day. So now we're in that winter 2020, 2021. So where are we at that time?
So here, obviously, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and the pandemic has certainly been a challenge for any organization, no less, small companies in the diagnostic space. And so as you might certainly imagine, tremendous amount of pressure on LexaGene to start entering the human clinical diagnostic space. And so when I started LexaGene, I was fully aware of the regulatory hurdle of the FDA and how hard it is to get through the FDA, how much time it takes, how much money it takes to do that. As such, when I started the company, there wasn't any mention of human clinical diagnostics at all on our website because my strategy was to gain success in veterinary medicine. First, food safety was also an interest of ours. That sale into the contract drug manufacturing sector opened our eyes to this very lucrative market that we're very excited about as of today. But the pandemic really sort of threw a wrench into things, if you will. And so we had to adjust and say, listen, okay, this technology fundamentally is designed for human, clinical diagnostics. It's perfectly suited for helping with this pandemic. What can we do to start, down this path that we originally were going to delay just because of the complexities going through it. Nonetheless, at the very, very end of last year, we announced, hey, listen, we're starting this process. It's going to be long, it's going to be complex. Nonetheless, this is the future of LexaGene. So that came out, it's really in the middle of winter time. And as such, as you might expect, to the FDA, you have to demonstrate the ability to scale manufacturing. So we started scaling manufacturing in January and February. And as we scaled our systems, we had many systems built in the lab working side by side doing the same thing. We did notice some variability in those systems. And obviously, you can't go through the FDA if there's variability which is not explained. And so we had to initiate this study to figure out where the variability was coming from. Fortunately enough, we were able to relatively quickly find that. We identified 2 issues contributing to the vast majority of variability. We had a press release to this effect in April, so we're jumping ahead now. And we then, mid-April, announced some very promising data in the veterinary space regarding our technology and its ability to detect the most common pathogens that affect your dogs and cats for companion animal diagnostics.
Very good. Okay, now catch us up. Now we're in that springtime, summer. So catch us up to today.
Right, and so this brings us. Right now we're in April, and so at this point, the company is sort of developing a little bit of swagger back, because back in the winter time, you're certainly under a tremendous amount of pressure to scale this technology, get it out to the masses as quick as we can. But we had to settle those manufacturing scale-up issues. Those were settled. We had some very, great data coming out on the MiQLab for veterinary diagnostics, and we decided that we had to scale our sales staff. And so we hired 4 new sales reps. I think they were hired either in April or May. Those individuals came into the company, they were trained, they went back to their respective territories. In June, we announced 3 sales, all in the veterinary space. Again, sort of showing to us that there certainly is a lot of promise in this space. And here we are now in August, and what we're really doing right now is ramping up for the conferences happening in September. And so this summer has been a very interesting summer in the sense that the pandemic has been raging. People have been cooped up, unable to take vacations, et cetera. So July and August are very much, summertime months where, we expect business to slow down, particularly in regards to diagnostics, because many of these veterinary organizations look for the deals, if you will, at the conferences, which finally are resuming in person this September. So this September, we're attending 3 veterinary conferences. We're spending a lot of time and energy getting our marketing engine ready to support the efforts of closing sales. And the reason why it's so important is because when we go to a veterinary hospital and we say, hey, listen, we've got this fantastic technology, it's going to completely change the way in which you care for your animals. You're going to provide higher quality care, ultimately lower costs to many pet owners who ultimately would have gone on to have complications with their loved pets. And this is going to really change the way in which you do business. Nonetheless, the very first question out of their mouth is, who is LexaGene? We've never heard of LexaGene. We are not, IDEX, Zoetis, Antec, these major, globally known veterinary health companies. We are a small market company that needs to spend and invest in building brand awareness. So right now, we're finally getting around to doing a lot of email marketing. We're advertising in trade periodicals. We're going to be advertising at these conferences. So our name is out there, and people now start associating the word LexaGene with high quality in-clinic PCR testing, looking for the most prevalent pathogens, and importantly also these antimicrobial resistance factors, which are becoming such a big problem, making the challenges of veterinary medicine so much more difficult. And so these conferences for us in September are extremely exciting, because finally we get an opportunity to be in front of these customers, show them the technology. We're going to have working systems in the booth. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to close sales this fall.
Very good. Well, Dr. Regan, with that, where can our audience go and find more information about LexaGene?
So of course, visit our website, www.LexaGene.com. Also, you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. So follow us, support the company, and looking forward to providing more updates as they become available.
Dr. Regan, thank you again so much for joining me today. We really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Take care.